you add board and batten to your room, it'll make it feel more luxurious. I'll walk you through a step-by-step process to show you how easy it is to install. We're working on this bedroom renovation, and we'll be installing board and batten to this room. The painter's already painted the room 2 different colors. The top of the wall is Swiss coffee, and the bottom color, which will be our board and batten color, this color is called Not Quite Purple. That is the actual color. Kind of a funny name to say. When you're installing board and batten, there really is no set rule as to what type of boards you can use for this. You can use a strip of wood, strips of MDF. You can use just about anything you want. The boards we're going to be using, they were all primed already. Now, as far as sizes, this is 4 inches. This will be the vertical board, and it is 3 inches. We're going to be using the 4-inch boards for our baseboards. I knew what these measurements were, so I bought boards that is 12 feet, and we're going to cut that down. And then we'll come back and we'll place it on the wall. We marked our board here at 142 3/4. We also need to cut it at a 45-degree angle. All right, we got it cut and we got both of our 45-degree angles. We have our baseboards cut to fit in here. They've been painted, and we're gonna go ahead and attach those. It's a little bit easier painting the baseboards and the vertical boards the color that you want them to be, and then putting them on there. The next coat will just be 1 coat, and you won't have to worry about getting right down near the floor and messing anything up. We're gonna start with this longest wall first, then we'll move over to the one by the door. Make sure that everything is level. The way it's sitting right now, everything seems to be level. So there's not much adjusting I have to do here, at least on this one. Everything seems to be nice and level. So once it's level, we're just gonna go ahead and tack this in place. We're gonna do these at every 10 to 12. That one's done. So all this baseboard right here is level. We're gonna go ahead and just tack that in. Looks good. We have this piece right here. Then we have just some small pieces to put in. A lot of this baseboard, it sits flat on its own. I don't have to work with it too hard because it's a full length board. With our baseboards done, we're gonna work on our board and batten. We've got a lot of pieces cut. The painter painted them all. So when it comes to positioning our boards, how far apart should your boards be? How many boards, how much space? Stop thinking of it as a number game. Here's the thing. If you go into anyone's house and you pull out a tape measure and you measure the distance between their battens, I guarantee they're not evenly spaced because it never works out that way. So let me tell you a secret about spacing your batten. Don't try and get them all even. Stop calculating it down to the inch, because you'll go crazy trying to get it all right. Let me show you how to take the guesswork out of it and place them so they look perfect. So let me show you what I mean. You take this wall here and you look at it and you get an idea of where you want your boards to be. You come into this room, you're gonna see this window, and that's where you want to start. Start right in the center of this window. Add a board like this. The center of this window. Okay, so you have it spaced out. Center with the window. The next step is to do the sides. We're gonna want a board somewhere right here so that we can put one over here so you have it spaced out. And then we're gonna have these in the corner. I centered it with the window. I centered it with these pieces. I centered these boards like this, and I put those boards right in the corner. I didn't take a tape measure and measure what the distance is. They're all different sizes. I want to look at the wall and say, this is going to look perfect for this wall. So that's how we're going to do the board and batten. I want to get this about the same. So 5 inches for that one, 5 inches from this one. So if this is 19 and a half, we want this one to come out to be 19 and a half. So that's right. That's about where we're going to put those. That's going to be our spacing. So that's how that one's going to go. Now we need to work on this side of the wall and figure out where it is we need to get this one. I don't know the spacing for sure yet. I'm just setting these out so we can figure it out. So they call this a 1x3, and it was by 8 feet long. But 3 is not right. It's really 2.5. So if you're looking at a 3-inch board, it's really 2.5. And the 4-inch boards are really 3.5. And it's 3/4. It's not actually 1 inch. We're just going to set these out and get an ideal. I know in general I was counting on 6 boards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 right there. We're ready to attach this to the wall. We're going to need a caulking gun and some liquid nails. And then we're going to use our Milwaukee nailer here. And we're going to use 2-inch brad nails, 18 gauge brad nails in our nailer to secure this to the wall. Also, I'm going to have some wet naps because sometimes the glue seeps out the sides and you need to wipe that up, or it's a nightmare to clean it up later. So I just want to have something damp so I can wipe that up if I need to. I also have my boards already pre-cut. The first board I'm going to start with is this corner. I'm going to put this one on, the top piece, and then I'm going to put the other top piece coming back this way. We're going to apply the liquid nails mainly towards the center. You don't want to ooze it out the side if you can help it. So a zigzag pattern, something like that's okay. Now we're going to put this on here. Then we'll make sure it's also level. Looks good. Now that we have that where we want it, we'll go ahead and put a couple nails in here. All right, so now we can do our other board here. So I'm going to run some liquid nails down through our board here so we can put that on. I'm just going to put some boards on here to level this out and sturdy it out. I'm just knocking on the wall to find the studs. Then I'm going to go like every 6 inches. There we go, that looks nice. Now we'll do the next piece. Go from here over to the end. Put the liquid nails on here. Then we'll make sure this is all level. All right, that one looks good. Now, since we're working in this direction, we'll go ahead and add our piece back here. We're going to take this small piece that goes right behind the door jamb here. It's not very much to it, so that's going to go like this. We're just going to put a little bit on the back here. We're going to do our next board, which is going to go right in here, and it's going to be a tight fit. So we're going to put some liquid nails on there. On these, we were going to center these out right in the middle here. All right, let's step back and look at it. The only other option is one great big one in the center of the wall. Maybe just one. I think that looks nice. All right, let's do that. I thought I was going to do 2. Turns out I only did 1. This wall, it came out to be 20 inches. On this wall, I'm trying to just center them in the middle of the wall. And it makes it a little bit easier. One is 14 on one side and one is 15. So you'll have 20 and 20, and then these corners will just be what they are. They're gonna be shorter, but that's fine. It'll look natural. With my pencil here, I'm gonna make a line, which I did right here, so that when I put this back on there, I know that's gonna be right where I want it. Same thing here. Now we have a line there. When I pull my board off, I know where it's going to go. Put the liquid nails on the back of our board. And then line up our marks again. Make sure it's level. These are our main focus points. 20 inches. And then these are smaller. This is 14 and this is 15. So 1 inch. And you're not going to notice that. You're going to see the wall as a whole and think the middle is squared up, which it is. Now we got to figure out on this wall, where do we want all of our pieces? So let's say 20, 21, and that would be right over the plug. So you know you can't do that. You just have to play around with it till you get exactly where you want to be. So on this wall, I'm thinking somewhere around 21. So that's where I think I want to be, is right about there. 21, 22, 21, 21, 21, and then this one is 18. I'm gonna set this one because I know I need it to be right here because of the plug. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that one in, and we're gonna work off of that. And go back and forth with some numbers. They're never gonna be the same. They're always gonna be different. So now that's gonna basically start us out here. That's 21. This would be 21. This would be 21. And where does that put us here? 21. So that's what I'm gonna do here is go 21. Now that I have a strategy, I'm good. Take my tape measure. 21 is right here. 21 down here. And now we know our board's gotta go right there. That's 21. Now we're gonna mark over again, 21. I've learned from my mistakes. I stay every bit of an inch back so it doesn't go in that direction. And I try to get it right in the middle of the board so it doesn't spread out and squeeze out on the sides, because believe it or not, I did that and it was a nightmare. So learn from my mistakes, and then I don't put it all the way against the wall. I just kind of rest it in there. I'm trying to get the top part. And then I'm gonna put a nail. Then I'll get my level. And when I know it's level and it's right, then I can push it against there and we are good to go. Now we're gonna go over again, 21, make another mark here. And there we go. Now this wall, almost done. This piece right here, we haven't done this yet. And this one, we have to go 21, mark it, same thing. Now if you notice on this end, we laid it flat that way. Now on this one, we're gonna change it, because this is the side you're gonna see when you look at this wall right here at the window. All right, when you come into the room, you're looking, you'll see that board. When you look this way, there's no need for one on the other side. The next step, we have to fill all these nail holes, caulk all around the square, and then do some sanding. So that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we will see you in the next one. Booyah!